The blue-white glow of Alaxis 7 filled the observation deck as Lieutenant Noah Carter pressed his hand against the cool glass. After 15 years in space, he still felt a childlike wonder when approaching a new world. This planet was special, though. This one had intelligent life that had reached out to the stars just as humans had. Beautiful, isn't it? Commander Olivia Wright stepped beside him, her weathered face reflected in the glass. Hard to believe we're actually here, Noah said. First contact with an advanced civilization. Real aliens who want to talk to us. Olivia smiled. And you're our lucky xenobiologist. How does it feel to make history? Noah ran a hand through his short brown hair. Terrifying. Exciting. I've studied every scrap of information we have on the Alaxians, but nothing compares to meeting them face to face. The USS Horizon had been traveling for 11 months to reach this moment. When the Alaxian signals had been detected 3 years ago, Earth had erupted in celebration. Humanity was not alone. Now, as one of 12 crew members selected for the first diplomatic mission, Noah felt the weight of 4 billion years of evolution on his shoulders. The ship's AI announced their approach to the orbital docking station. Noah and Olivia joined the rest of the team in the shuttle bay. Dr. Samantha Lee, the mission's linguist, was reviewing notes on her tablet. Major Frank Dominguez, head of security, checked his unarmed belt for the 5th time. Everyone wore the same navy blue uniforms with the United Earth emblem, a simple design showing all continents as one landmass. Remember, Olivia addressed the team, we represent not just the United States or North America, but all of Earth. The Alaxians agreed to peaceful contact. Let's not give them any reason to regret it. The shuttle ride to the Alaxian station was smooth. Noah's stomach tightened as they passed through a shimmering force field into an artificial atmosphere. The doors hissed open, revealing their welcoming party. Noah had seen images of Alaxians, but they hadn't prepared him for the real thing. They stood nearly 7 feet tall, with willowy bodies that seemed to flow rather than move. Their skin was the most striking feature, a translucent surface that rippled with colors like the northern lights. 6 Alaxians waited in formation, their skin pulsing in synchronized patterns of blue and gold. One stepped forward. I am Chief Diplomat Veldera. We welcome you to Alaxis. The words came through the translation devices each human wore behind their ear. Noah noticed how Veldara's eyes, large, multifaceted orbs, darted away from direct contact with the humans. Was it cultural or something else? Commander Wright stepped forward. On behalf of Earth, we thank you for your welcome. We come in peace and friendship. The Alaxians led them through corridors of flowing architecture, everything curved and organic. Noah recorded everything on his wrist device. He caught snippets of Alaxian conversation that his translator couldn't quite catch, but their tones seemed tense, almost disturbed. They were brought to a large chamber with a window overlooking the blue planet below. Food and drink had been arranged on floating platforms. Noah noted how the Alaxians kept a careful distance from the humans, never coming closer than necessary. Your physical forms are interesting, said Veldara, skin shifting to a muted purple. We had studied your transmissions, but seeing you in person is quite different. As it is seeing you, Noah replied. Your ability to change color is fascinating. Is it voluntary or emotional? Both, Veldara answered, seeming surprised by the question. It is our primary form of communication. Your fixed coloration must be quite limiting. Another Alaxian whispered something, causing a ripple of color changes among the group. Noah's translator caught fragments. ... can bear to look ... double quotes, and ... so rigid and malformed ... Noah felt a chill. Were they disgusted by humans? The meeting. continued with formal exchanges of information. The humans presented gifts, artwork, music, and scientific data. The Alaxians received them with what Noah was beginning to recognize as reluctant politeness. When the initial meeting concluded, the humans were shown to their quarters. Noah found himself assigned a laboratory space to be shared with an Alaxian. "Scientist, you will work with Illyra," Veldara explained, not looking directly at either of them. "She will assist in her biological studies." Noah turned to his new partner and was immediately struck by the difference between her and the other Alaxians. Where they shifted through rainbow spectrums, Illyra's skin displayed only muted blues and greens. Her form was slightly shorter, her movements less fluid. "I am Illyra," she said simply. The other Alaxians had already moved away from her, their colors dimming as if to distance themselves. "Noah Carter, I look forward to working with you." Over the next few days, Noah learned the rhythm of the station. The Alaxians were advanced in biotechnology and energy manipulation, but lagged behind in computational sciences. They were eager for human knowledge in these areas, though their disgust at physical proximity made exchanges awkward. Noah and Illyra established a working relationship built on careful distance. She never came within 6 feet of him, though Noah noticed she watched him when she thought he wasn't looking. 1 week into the mission, Noah was recording observations when Illyra entered the lab. Her skin was a dull gray color he hadn't seen on her before. "Is everything all right?" he asked. "I have been reprimanded," she said after a pause, "for spending too much time in your presence. I thought that was your assignment." "It is. A prolonged exposure to," she hesitated, "to non-Alaxian forms is considered potentially contaminating." Noah set down his tablet. "Contaminating? We've confirmed we carry no pathogens harmful to your species. Not biological contamination, aesthetic contamination." Illyra's skin darkened further. "You must understand. In our society, beauty is everything. It determines status, opportunity, worth. And by our standards, we're ugly," Noah finished, the pieces clicking into place. "That's why everyone keeps their distance. That's why they can barely look at us." "Yes," Illyra's confirmation was barely audible. "And I am assigned to you because I am already considered aesthetically compromised." Noah looked at her with new understanding. "Because your color range is limited? I have a genetic mutation. I cannot produce the full spectrum that marks a proper Alaxian. I cannot join the color symphonies or participate in the status dances. I am defective." Noah watched as Illyra moved to a reflective panel and studied herself. Her limited colors made intricate patterns, different from the flashy displays of the others, but with a subtle complexity he found mesmerizing. "That's why you're a scientist? Because of your coloration?" It was the only role available to me. "Those like me are kept from public view. We do the necessary work that would distress those of proper form." Noah felt a surge of anger at the unfairness. "So they stuck you with the ugly aliens because you're both eyesores?" Illyra's skin flashed a pattern he hadn't seen before. "That is accurately stated." Noah studied her for a long moment. "You know, humans have different ideas about beauty. We value uniqueness, character, distinctiveness." "A primitive perspective," Illyra said, but her colors shifted to a curious blue-green. "Maybe, or maybe seeing beauty only one way is the primitive approach." Noah smiled at her. "For what it's worth, I think your color patterns are more interesting than theirs. More complex, less showy." Illyra stared at him, her skin cycling through subtle variations of blue. The translator remained silent. Whatever she was expressing had no direct translation. "You cannot mean that," she finally said. "I do. And I'm starting to think your people's definition of beauty might be the ugliest thing I've encountered in this galaxy. For the first time, Elira moved slightly closer to him. You should not say such things. Why not? Because ... Her colors swirled in confusion. Because I am beginning to believe you. Noah found himself looking forward to his lab sessions with Elira. 2 weeks into the mission, their professional relationship had developed a rhythm. Each morning, Noah would arrive to find Elira already working, her skin a focused blue as she analyzed data. She still maintained her distance, but the space between them had shrunk from 6 feet to about 4. I have questions, Elira said one morning as Noah reviewed cellular samples. About humans? About human social structures. Her colors shifted to a thoughtful green-blue pattern. You have no color communication, yet you form complex societies. How do you determine status without color signaling? Noah put down his tools. We have many ways. Clothes, job titles, wealth, education, family connections. Too many ways, probably. And which determines your place in your society? All of them, in different combinations. It's complicated and often unfair. Noah smiled. But physical appearance plays a role too, though not as absolutely as in your culture. Elira processed this, her skin forming ripples of thought. In our history, before we understood genetics, those with limited color ranges were thought to be spiritually empty. Some were even killed at birth. Noah felt a chill. That's terrible. It was considered merciful. Elira's colors darkened. Now we know better. We allow the color limited to live productive lives in suitable roles. How generous, Noah said, not hiding his sarcasm. Elira tilted her head. You disapprove, yet your species also judges by appearance. Yes, but we're trying to be better. At least some of us are. Noah sighed. Our societies aren't perfect. We've done terrible things based on how people look. But we've also learned that appearance doesn't determine someone's worth or abilities. A chime sounded, indicating an incoming message. The face of Commander Wright appeared on the lab screen. Noah, we have a problem. The Alaxians are canceling tomorrow's technology exchange. This is the 3rd meeting they've backed out of this week. I need you in the conference room in 10 minutes. Noah turned to Elira after the screen went dark. Do you know anything about this? Her colors flickered nervously. There has been discussion among the High Council. Some believe too much contact with humans may be harmful. Because we're ugly? Because your presence challenges fundamental Alaxian values. Elira moved closer than she ever had before, lowering her voice. You must understand, our entire society is built on the connection between beauty and worth. If that connection is questioned, everything we know collapses. The conference room was tense when Noah arrived. Commander Wright stood at the head. Of the table, her patients clearly thin. Dr. Lee and Major Dominguez sat with tight expressions. The Alaxians are withdrawing, Olivia said without preamble. Not completely, but enough to make this mission a failure. They've restricted our access to all but the most basic areas of the station. It's about appearance, Noah said. They find us physically repulsive. Frank Dominguez scoffed. That's ridiculous. We're talking about advanced beings here. Advanced. Technologically, Samantha Lee corrected. But culturally, they've developed along different lines. Their society is highly stratified based on physical appearance. Noah nodded. My lab partner, Elira, is considered defective because she can't display the full color spectrum. She's treated as a lesser being because of it. So they're shallow. Frank said, No, Noah replied. Their biology made visual signaling crucial to their evolution. To them, it's as fundamental as speech is to us. Olivia rubbed her temples. Great. We traveled 11 months to meet space racists. Not exactly, Noah said. It's more complex than that. But I think I might have an idea. Later that day, Noah found Elira in an observation area, staring at the stars. Her colors were muted, almost gray. "You've been reassigned," Noah guessed. She didn't turn. "Yes. My supervisors believe I have become contaminated by human ideas. They say I have begun to display unhealthy thought patterns." "Because you talk." "To me? Because I question." Her skin rippled with subtle blues. "Last night, I asked my supervisor why we judge based solely on color range when there could be other measures of value. He reported me to the council." Noah stepped closer. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cause trouble for you." "You didn't cause it. You revealed it." Alira finally turned to face him. "All my life, I accepted my place. I believed I deserved less because I displayed less. Then I met beings who cannot change color at all, yet create wonders my people cannot imagine. Alira, I have an idea, but I need your help. Would you be willing to risk more trouble?" Her colors brightened slightly. "What do you propose?" The next day, Noah presented his plan to Commander Wright. A cultural exhibition showcasing human art, music, and dance. Not as a desperate attempt to salvage the mission, but as a genuine sharing of human concepts of beauty. "The Alaxians communicate through color and movement," Noah explained. "We can't match them there. But we can show them beauty isn't limited to just one form." Olivia looked skeptical. "You think a few paintings and some music will change their minds? I think it might make them question their assumptions. And right now, questions are what they need most." It took 3 days to arrange the exhibition. Most of the Alaxian leadership refused to attend, but enough scientists and mid-level officials were curious enough to come. Noah had insisted, really, that Alira be allowed to attend as a scientific observer. The exhibition began with visual art reproductions of Earth's greatest paintings and sculptures, displayed on large screens. The Alaxians viewed them with polite disinterest, their colors shifting in patterns Noah recognized as confusion or dismissal. Then came music. Dr. Lee had prepared selections ranging from classical to jazz, to traditional music from cultures around Earth. The Alaxians showed more interest here, their colors pulsing slightly with the rhythms. "They're responding to the patterns," Noah whispered to Olivia. "Music is mathematics made audible. That translates across species." The final part of the exhibition was dance. 2 crew members with dance training performed simple but powerful routines, a balletic piece set to Debussy, followed by a more dynamic contemporary dance. As the dancers moved, Noah watched the Alaxians. Their colors began to shift and flow in response to the movements. He glanced at Alira and stopped breathing for a moment. Her skin was creating patterns he had never seen before, subtle, complex waves of blue and green that mimicked yet transformed the dancers' movements. Several other Alaxians had noticed, too. They were watching her, not the dancers, their own colors shifting in what Noah thought might be surprise or reassessment. When the performance ended, Noah found Alira surrounded by her peers. Their colors flickered in rapid conversation that his translator couldn't keep up with. "What did you think?" he asked when he could finally approach her. "I have no words," she said, her voice soft. "Your people create beauty from stillness. You cannot change your colors, so you change everything around you. It is ... I don't have the words." One of the senior Alaxians turned to Noah. "Your species has developed unusual compensations for your limitations. Most interesting." It wasn't exactly a warm endorsement, but it was something. Noah caught Alira's eye and saw her skin ripple in what he was beginning to recognize as her version of a smile. For the first time since arriving, Noah felt real hope for the mission. The day after the exhibition, Noah noticed a subtle shift in the station's atmosphere. Alaxians still kept their distance, but they looked at the humans differently. Some even nodded in greeting, their skin flickering with colors that Noah's translator identified as respectful acknowledgement. Commander Wright called a meeting to discuss this change. Whatever you did, it worked, she told Noah. The Alaxian Council has agreed to resume our technology exchange meetings. They've even expanded our access to some research facilities. It wasn't just me, Noah said. Elira deserves most of the credit. Her color response to our dancers seemed to make an impression on the others. Samantha Lee nodded. I've been analyzing the translator data. The Alaxians have started using a new term when referring to humans. The closest translation is differently beautiful, or perhaps beauty of another kind. Frank Dominguez laughed. So we went from ugly to exotic. I'll take it. It's more significant than that, Samantha continued. In their language, acknowledging beauty in any form grants a certain status. They're recognizing our right to be treated with respect. Noah hadn't seen Elira since the exhibition. He found her in their lab the next morning, working with new equipment that hadn't been there before. You've been busy, he said. Elira's skin rippled with what Noah now recognized as her version of a smile. I have been reassigned. Again. Not another punishment, I hope? No, the opposite. Her colors brightened to a clear blue. I have been promoted to research lead for human Alaxian comparative biology. It is unprecedented for someone with my condition. Noah grinned. That's wonderful. What changed their minds? My color response to your dance exhibition has been classified as a new form of expression. Some are calling it adaptive resonance. Elira moved gracefully around the lab. Her confidence visibly increased. They believe my limited spectrum actually allows for more complex pattern formations in response to non-color stimuli. So your defect is now considered a special ability? Not officially. But there is now interest in studying those like me, instead of hiding us away. Elira paused, her color shifting to a more serious tone. I have submitted a paper to the Science Council, a new theory about beauty and adaptation. That sounds groundbreaking. It may be considered heretical. Despite her words, Elira's colors showed no fear. I propose that beauty is not absolute, but relative to evolutionary needs. That diversity in form and function strengthens rather than weakens a species. Noah nodded. On Earth, we call that biodiversity. It's the foundation of healthy ecosystems. Here it is revolution. Elira moved closer than she ever had before. Your exhibition showed many of my people that beauty can exist in forms we never imagined. Some are resistant, but others are questioning. Over the next week, Noah witnessed these changes firsthand. More Alaxians requested meetings with the human team. They asked questions not just about technology, but about human culture, art, and social structures. Several even requested to observe human eating habits, something previously considered too disgusting to watch. Noah and Elira were asked to give a presentation about their comparative biology research. The room was filled with Alaxian scientists, their colors bright with curiosity. Human appearance is fixed, Noah explained, but our expressiveness comes through facial movements, voice tones, and body language. He demonstrated various expressions, smiling, frowning, raising eyebrows in surprise. The Alaxians watched intently, their colors shifting in patterns of concentration. While humans cannot change color, Elira added, they can change their surroundings to express identity. Their dwellings, coverings, and created objects all serve as extensions of self-expression. An older Alaxian raised a long, delicate hand. Is it not limiting to be unable to show true feelings through color? We might ask if it's limiting to be unable to hide your feelings, Noah countered. Humans can choose what to reveal and what to conceal. This caused a ripple of color reactions through the audience. The concept of concealing emotional states seemed both disturbing and fascinating to them. After the presentation, Chief Diplomat Veldara approached them. His colors were formal but not unfriendly. Your collaboration has proven educational, he said. The Council has decided to extend the mission timeline by 3 months to allow for deeper cultural exchange. Noah looked at Alira, whose colors showed barely contained excitement. We're grateful for the opportunity, he said. Later, in a quiet corner of the observation deck, Noah and Alira stood watching Alaxis 7 below them. For the first time, they stood side by side without any gap between them. My people are beginning to see differently, Alira said softly. Not all of them, and not quickly, but it is happening. Change never comes easily, Noah replied. On Earth, we've spent centuries fighting against judging people by appearance. We still struggle with it, yet you try. That alone is remarkable. Alira's skin shifted to a deep, peaceful blue. I have been invited to join the Education Council. They want me to develop a program about alternative forms of beauty. That's amazing, Alira. You'll change how generations of Alaxians think. Perhaps. Her colors shimmered with something Noah couldn't quite interpret. There is something I wish to show you. Something I have never shown anyone. Alira closed her multifaceted eyes and seemed to concentrate deeply. Slowly, her skin began to change not in the flowing patterns Noah was familiar with, but in a structured, almost geometric design. The blues and greens formed intricate shapes that seemed to have meaning beyond mere decoration. What is this? Noah asked, mesmerized. My true patterns, Alira said, her voice barely audible. Not what I was taught to display. Not what is considered proper. This is how my colors naturally want to flow. Noah watched in awe as the patterns shifted and evolved, telling a story he couldn't read, but could somehow feel. It's beautiful, he said honestly. The most beautiful thing I've seen since coming here. For years, I forced myself to mimic standard patterns, Alira continued. I strained to produce colors I couldn't naturally make. I thought I was wrong, broken. Her patterns intensified. Now I understand that I was simply different. My patterns are more complex because they work within limitations. Like human art, Noah said, beauty born from constraint. Yes, Alira's colors shifted to a warm, gentle pattern. You told me I was beautiful when my own people called me hideous. I couldn't believe you then. I had no words to respond. And now I know you were right. But more importantly, I know why you were right. Her colors formed a pattern Noah had never seen before, something new, something that seemed to bridge human and Alaxian aesthetics. You're creating a new language, Noah realized. We both are, Alira replied. Something neither of our species could have created alone. Below them, Alaxis 7 continued its slow rotation, blue and white and beautiful in its alien way. Above them, the stars stretched into infinity, each one potentially holding new forms of life, new definitions of beauty, new possibilities for understanding. 1 month after the exhibition, the human-Alaxian cultural exchange was flourishing. The station buzzed with activity as scientists from both species worked side by side. Noah walked through the corridors, nodding to Alaxians who now responded, with color patterns of greeting rather than disgust. Commander Wright stopped him near the main laboratory. Noah, we just received a message from Earth. They're sending a second ship. The Horizon sister ship, the Aurora, will arrive in 2 months with more specialists. That's great news, Noah said. The Alaxians are finally opening up. We're learning more every day. You and Alira deserve much of the credit, Olivia said. Your work has become the model for human-Alaxian cooperation. Noah smiled. It's been incredible watching her change. And not just her. Did you see the new color patterns? Some of the younger Alaxians are trying. They're adapting Alira's style. I noticed. Though the older ones still seem resistant. Change comes hard to those who've benefited from the old ways, Noah replied, "but it's happening." "Have you heard about the debate in their science council?" Before Olivia could answer, an alarm sounded throughout the station. Red lights flashed in the corridor. "What's happening?" Noah asked as crew members began rushing past them. "Unknown," Olivia said, checking her communication device. "Some kind of emergency. In the central hub. Let's go." They hurried through the station, joining the flow of humans and Alaxians heading toward the central area. When they arrived, they found a crowd gathered around the main communication platform. The Alaxian High Council 7 of the tallest, most colorful members of their species, stood facing a group of younger Alaxians, including Alira. Alira's skin blazed with colors more intense than Noah had ever seen from her. She stood tall, unafraid, as one of the council members spoke in rapid Alaxian that the translator struggled to keep up with. "What's going on?" Noah asked an Alaxian scientist standing nearby. Alira presented her theory to the full council. The scientist replied, his colors muted with tension. They rejected it and ordered her to retract her research. She refused. Noah pushed forward through the crowd. The lead council member's skin flashed angry reds and yellows as he continued. "To speak ... undermines the foundation of our society." The translator finally caught up. "These human ideas are dangerous contamination. The limited spectrum beings must know their place." Alira's response came in both words and colors. "Our place is wherever our abilities take us. I have proven that limited spectrum Alaxians possess unique pattern capabilities that full spectrum Alaxians cannot achieve." "Novelty is not value," another council member said. "You would destroy thousands of years of social harmony for human ideas." "Not human ideas," Alira countered. "Human perspective helped me see what was already true. Beauty is not singular. Worth is not determined by color range alone." The lead council member turned to the crowd, his colors commanding attention. "This is the danger of extended contact with primitive species. They cannot understand our ways, so they seek to change them. We must limit further interaction." Noah stepped forward before he could stop himself. "That's not true. We've come to learn, not to change you." All eyes and color patterns turned to him. The council member's skin darkened with displeasure. "This human speaks out of turn. Remove him." Commander Wright moved to Noah's side. "As the human representative, I request to be heard. By your own diplomatic protocols, both sides deserve a voice." The council member's colors shifted in patterns Noah recognized as reluctant agreement. Olivia continued, her voice calm but firm. "We came seeking knowledge and friendship. We've shared our science, art, and culture openly. In return, we've gained valuable insights into your biology and technology. This exchange benefits both our peoples." "The benefits are not in question," the council leader said. "The cultural contamination is." "Cultural exchange is not contamination," Noah said. "It's growth." Alira stepped forward, her colors forming the complex geometric patterns she had shown Noah privately. Several gasps came from the crowd. "This is who I am," she said. "These patterns exist within me naturally. I did not learn them from humans. I simply stopped hiding them." A murmur ran through the assembled Alaxians. Some of the younger ones began to shift their colors, attempting to mimic Alira's patterns. They couldn't match her exactly, but the attempt itself was significant. An elderly Alaxian moved slowly through the crowd. Her colors were faded with age, but they formed delicate, intricate patterns similar to Alira's. She stopped beside Alira and raised her hand. "I too have hidden my true patterns," she said, her voice wavering. "For 97 cycles, I have displayed only what was deemed acceptable." One by one, other Alaxians moved forward, 12 in all, each displaying unique pattern variations that diverged from the standard flowing colors. They stood with Illyra, a small group facing the council. The lead council member's colors flashed. With alarm. This is unprecedented. A collective deviation. Not deviation, Illyra said. Diversity. The very thing that allows species to adapt and survive. Noah watched in amazement as more Alaxians shifted their colors, not all in the limited spectrum. Patterns, but in new variations that blended traditional and novel forms. The council members' colors showed confusion and concern. The oldest council member finally spoke, her colors thoughtful. Perhaps we have been rigid in our definitions. The success of our cooperation with humans suggests that adaptation has value. We request time to consider these developments, the lead member said, his colors no longer angry but cautious. The human-Alaxian exchange will continue, but under careful observation. As the crowd dispersed, Noah approached Illyra. Her colors were calm now, but with an underlying brightness that spoke of triumph. That was brave, he said. It was necessary, she replied. For too long, those like me have hidden our true nature. Your presence gave us the courage to be seen. What happens now? Now comes the harder part. Change. Illyra's patterns shifted to something Noah hadn't seen before, hopeful but realistic. The council will resist, but they cannot ignore what happened today. Too many witnessed it. Later, in the observation lounge, Noah found Illyra watching the stars. Her colors formed peaceful, complex patterns that seemed to mirror the cosmos outside. I received a message from 20 more limited-spectrum Alaxians, she said without turning. They've been hiding in technical and maintenance roles throughout our colony network. They want to learn how to display their true patterns. You're starting a movement, Noah said, sitting beside her. We are starting a conversation. Illyra's colors shifted to include warmer tones. About who decides what beauty is. About why we value some forms over others. On Earth, we've had those conversations. For centuries, they're never easy, but they are essential. Illyra turned to him, her colors forming a pattern he now recognized as her way of showing affection. When your people first arrived, I was assigned to you as punishment. Now others request to work with humans. They see value in your different perspective. And in yours, Noah added. You're the bridge, Illyra. You understand both worlds. Her colors brightened at his words. The council has asked me to help develop new protocols for identifying talent among limited-spectrum Alaxians. It is a small step, but significant. It's how change happens. Small steps that add up to transformation. Outside the viewport, Alaxis 7 turned slowly, its blue oceans and white clouds forming patterns as beautiful as any Alaxian color display. Noah realized he had come to love this alien world and its people, especially the one beside him, once considered hideous by her own kind, now becoming a catalyst for change. What will you tell the council? He asked. The truth, Illyra said, her colors forming the most complex pattern he had ever seen from her. That beauty exists in countless forms. That worth cannot be measured by a single standard. And that sometimes, it takes an outsider to help us see what was always there. 3 months had passed since the confrontation with the council. The Aurora had arrived 2 weeks ago, bringing fresh faces and new energy to the mission. Noah watched from the observation deck as shuttlecraft moved between the 2 Earth ships, and the Alaxian station, carrying people and supplies in a constant stream of activity. Quite a change from when we first arrived, Commander Wright said, joining him at the viewport. Remember how they could barely stand to be in the same room with us? Noah smiled. Now they're inviting us to cultural ceremonies. The younger ones are even trying to learn our facial expressions. The council is still pushing back, Olivia noted. I heard they created a new committee to preserve traditional color values, or something like that. They're fighting a losing battle, Noah said. You can't stop ideas once they start spreading. Their conversation was interrupted by an announcement over the station's communication system. The voice spoke in both Alaxian and translated English. All personnel are invited to the Grand Assembly Hall for a special presentation by the Education and Science Councils. Attendance is encouraged for all species. Noah and Olivia exchanged curious glances. "Do you know anything about this?" she asked. "No, but I bet Elira does." Noah checked the time. "I'm supposed to meet her in the lab soon. I'll find out what's happening." When Noah arrived at the laboratory, he found it empty except for a message display glowing on the main screen. The words were simple. "Meet me at the Assembly Hall. Today changes everything." The Grand Assembly Hall was the largest space on the station, capable of holding hundreds of Alaxians and humans. As Noah entered, he was surprised to see it nearly full. Alaxians of all ages stood in concentric circles around a central platform. The human crew members were gathered together near the front. Noah joined them, nodding to Dr. Lee and Major Dominguez. "Any idea what this is about?" he asked. Samantha Lee shrugged. "Something big. I heard some Alaxians saying this hasn't happened in decades." The lights dimmed and the central platform illuminated. 3 members of the Science Council appeared, their skin displaying formal patterns of blue and gold. Behind them stood 3 members of the Education Council, including Elira. Her colors were calm and confident, so different from the muted, hesitant patterns she had shown when Noah first met her. The lead Science Council member spoke first. "Today marks a historic moment in Alaxian development. After extensive research and debate, the Science and Education Councils present our findings on color variation and its implications for our society." A display appeared above the platform, showing data charts and images that Noah couldn't fully understand. The council member continued, "For generations, we have valued full-spectrum colorability above all other traits. We believed it represented evolutionary superiority and greater cognitive capacity. Our research now proves this assumption false." A murmur rippled through the crowd. The council member's colors shifted to emphasize the seriousness of his words. "Limited-spectrum Alaxians demonstrate equal or superior abilities in pattern complexity, spatial reasoning, and adaptability to new information. The limitations we perceived as defects are, in fact, specializations that benefit our species as a whole." Another council member stepped forward. "This is not merely scientific theory. In the months since beginning collaboration with humans, limited-spectrum Alaxians have produced breakthrough advances in medicine, engineering, and art. Their unique perspective has proven invaluable." Now Elira moved to the center of the platform. Her colors formed the complex geometric patterns that had once been her secret. "Today, we announce a new framework for education and social organization," she said, her voice clear and strong. "No longer will color range determine an individual's path. All Alaxians will be evaluated based on their abilities and interests, not their spectrum limitations." The crowd's reaction was mixed. Older Alaxians displayed patterns of shock or concern, while younger ones showed excitement and approval. Noah felt a surge of pride watching Elira command the attention of her people. "This change will not happen overnight," she continued. "Centuries of tradition cannot be undone in months. But today, we take the first step toward a more diverse and adaptive society." The display above changed to show a new symbol, a circular pattern that incorporated both flowing color transitions and geometric structures. "This will be the emblem of our new educational initiative. It represents the unity of different forms of expression and beauty." As the presentation concluded, the crowd began to disperse, colors flashing in intense conversation. Noah made his way toward the platform where Elira was speaking with her colleagues. When she saw him, her colors brightened in welcome. "Did you know about this?" Noah asked when they could finally speak privately. "The announcement? Yes, I've been working on it for weeks." Elira's patterns showed pride and satisfaction. The council tried to water it down, but the evidence was too strong to ignore. It's amazing, Elira. You've changed your society. We've changed it, she corrected. Human perspectives helped us see beyond our limitations. They walked together to a quiet corner of the station, a small garden area where earth plants grew, alongside Alaxian flora. The blue light of the planet below filtered through the viewport, casting gentle shadows. I received new orders today, Noah said after a moment. Earth wants me to return on the Aurora next month. They're sending a replacement xenobiologist. Elira's colors dimmed slightly. You're leaving? Not if I can help it, Noah smiled. I've requested a permanent assignment here. As the human liaison to the new Joint Research Initiative. Her colors brightened again, forming the pattern he had come to recognize as joy. The Council would welcome that. Your insights have been valuable. Just valuable? Noah teased. Elira's colors shifted to a warm, intimate pattern that only Noah could fully read. Essential, she said. You saw beauty where others saw only defects. You helped me find my voice when I had no words. A chime sounded on Noah's communication device. A message from Commander Wright. Council approved your reassignment. Congratulations, Permanent Ambassador. Noah showed the message to Elira, whose colors formed a new pattern one that seemed to combine human and Alaxian expressions of happiness. It seems I will be staying, Noah said. Good. Elira's colors shifted to include the geometric patterns that were becoming popular among younger Alaxians. We have much work still to do. As they stood together watching the stars, Noah reflected on how far they had come, from disgust and isolation to understanding and collaboration, from rigid definitions of beauty to an expanding vision of worth and value. When I first told you that you were beautiful, Noah said softly, you couldn't speak. I had no words, Elira agreed, her colors forming gentle waves. In my language, beauty was defined by what I lacked. I couldn't comprehend being beautiful as I was. And now I have new words. We all do. Her colors formed the most complex pattern Noah had ever seen, something uniquely Elira. Neither human nor traditionally Alaxian, but a bridge between worlds. Beauty is diversity. Beauty is adaptation. Beauty is seeing with new eyes. Outside the viewport, a shuttle departed the station, heading toward Earth with messages and data from the mission. Below them, Alaxis 7 continued its eternal dance around its sun. And inside the station, two beings from different worlds stood together, forever changed by seeing beauty where others had seen only difference. Elira's colors formed one final pattern, simple yet profound. Thank you, she said, for telling me the truth.